guys, Dragon974, and today we're going to be talking about the Doom beta, my first impressions, and what I think about it. Now, before we jump in, I want to give you a bit of perspective. I've played all of the Doom games, Doom 1, 2, and 3. I personally prefer Doom 1 the most, because that's the one that I played the most of, and I enjoyed every single one. They are all my favorite games, probably some of my favorite of all time. But I will say that this time around, Bethesda, I'm not impressed, to be honest, but I'm going to talk about that why in a little bit. Let's begin with the first thing of today's video, which is going to be the positives on the Doom beta and what I thought was good about it. To start with, I really liked the character customization, the taunts. I really enjoyed the weapon customization. It really gives a certain uniqueness to all the weapons you make, and it gives really a certain uniqueness to how the game is played. And it really just shows you how creative people can be with not only their player character, but also the weapons that they make. Because I've seen some crazy-ass weapon skins out there. As you can see here, I like the gold skin, just because, you know, Call of Duty brain, gold means high prestige. Just knowing what that means to me. Now that we went over that, now we said that, I also really enjoy the animations for the glory kills and the assassinations. And those are really fun to do. I don't do them a lot, but I do find that they are very fun when you get them. I also like how melees are very powerful and can win a lot of fights up close, so if you get a person low health, you can just melee them. I find that very good because that kind of makes it a bit easier to do things, but at the same time it's also a bit overpowered when combined with something else I'm going to talk about a bit later in the negative section. I like the classical shooter feel where you have to pick up power-ups if you want to survive, and each power-up will give certain things. The armor mechanic and health mechanic flow very well together, I feel, where health is how close you are to death, and armor will protect you from damage. I feel as though 50 armor or so at the beginning, though, is a bit weird. I don't know if that was in the original Doom game. It's been a while since I played the Doom games. I'd actually have to play and tell you. But the 50 armor is reasonable, though, arguably. I also really like the drops, how people drop stuff when they die, and how you can very easily find drops. I don't mind the hack modules for the most part. I find them useful, though I will get on later where they're kind of a toss-up where I feel that a couple things on there will need to be in the base game, which I'll talk about a bit more in depth later. There are more positives. I really like the grenades. The grenades in this game are awesome. I like they all add something unique and new, whether you like the frag grenade for pure damage, or I forget what the grenade is called. I think it's the grenade that steals health. Don't quite know its name off the top of my head, but it will steal health and return it to you, and it's great at covering huge AoEs, which is awesome, and you can just hold it there for a few seconds. I really do like all of the weapons' LT abilities, and how each weapon has something unique about it that makes it different and just more interesting compared to the other weapons. Now that we went over that, I went over all the real big positives of this game. I'm going to talk a bit about the, oh, wait, no, I got a couple more positives. I also like the teleporters in this, and how two people can teleport at the same time. I like the Revenant. The demons are so much fun. They add just a whole bunch of diversity that's not normally in the game. I do enjoy the demon. I hope that they add more demons, actually. I enjoy the map design and how simplistic it is. I like how it's got like that classical Doom multi-level feel, where there's a lot of areas you have to look out for. I like the double jump mechanic. That is actually extremely fun. I love the double jumping. It adds a bit more of a little bit of spritiness to the game that I feel is missing a bit with the momentum. Now that we went over that, I'm going to talk about the things that I just kind of dislike, I guess you could say, about this. To start off with, I dislike the momentum in this game. It feels like there's a lack of momentum, or if there is momentum, it takes a long time to build up, and that on its own isn't very fun to me. What I liked about the original Doom game so much was you were a sprightly little fucker. You could go across, you didn't jump, sure, but you ran so fast. Like, you could cover rooms extremely quick in Doom, especially large open rooms, and it added for a lot of variety. Whereas in this game, I feel you move a lot slower, not so much sluggish, but you do move significantly slower. You still are fast, and you still are a bit sprightly. However, I just feel like the older games got that feeling of momentum a lot better than this game does. Now that we went over that, I'm going to talk about a couple other negatives. Another big negative is the super shotgun. I love the Super Shotgun, don't get me wrong, I like using it, but in this gameplay you're going to see me not use it. People use it so much, and it's such a good weapon up close, that I would even call it overpowered. And I don't call many things overpowered, but this thing just demolishes players, enemies, anyone up close. You're going to get demolished, you're not going to last very long. And if you don't use a Super Shotgun, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. As you're going to see here, I'm not going to use it, I'm going to use the sniper instead. Actually, later on in this game, I go on a bit of a spree with the sniper. But without that Super Shotgun, you're going to see I'm going to lose every single up-close engagement there is, because everyone uses it, and those people that do use it are really missing out on some of the unique abilities of the other weapons, but they'll never know because the Super Shotgun is just that powerful that that's all they think they need to use, and that's really all and they're not wrong either, because in actuality, that's all you need to use. I think I saw maybe like a couple people digress from the Super Shotgun, but for the most part in the beta, everyone's using it. I really feel like the weapon is a bit too powerful for a starting weapon. I think you should give them the original Doom Shotgun or something else, because I do not like how you get a shotgun that's capable of one-shotting you without armor easily up close as base. That just doesn't seem right to me. And it really breaks the balance in the game when you get it so early on, because everyone just uses it. It reminds me a lot of the pre-patched BAO back in Advanced Warfare, because I know a lot of you are COD fans out there, and you're probably going to understand this a lot more. A lot of the pre-patched BAO, that's what it reminds me of. It just shreks you at almost almost all angles. Your argument can be, I could see an argument of, well, it's only really good up close. But let's face it here, it's Doom. Most of the actual engagements are up close. You're not going to be sitting in the back of the map sniping, because no people are going to really be going to find a need to be in the back of the map sniping, especially in the objective mode that they have. There's no real need for that. So therefore, most of your game matches are going to be in close. And you could argue, well, just stay away from the shotguns. It's hard to stay away from a shotgun when the person's hunting you down, sprinting after you. That's kind of a difficult thing to do. Now that we went over the Doom Shotgun, I'm going to talk a bit about the hack modules. I really dislike some of the certain hack modules, just for the fact that I feel that they should come with the game. Like the health hack module, for example. The health hack module is, I feel it should just be it's called Vital Signs, and what it does is it lets you see their health. I feel like, well, it's cool, it's an ability and all, I really feel it should be already preset in the game. Because let's be honest here, it would be so much cooler if it were in the game, because it would just help players pick out targets and get targets a lot easier than we do now. Because right now it's just kind of like, all right, hit and a miss and hope that you deal damage, and you don't get an idea for how much health every player has, and that really aggravates me, because it's like a lot of I would see how it changes the game, because the argument is made that it would change the game by making people pick out certain people, but I feel like it would just help a majority of players by allowing you to know, well, hey, this is happening, so, well, hey, my health is being shown, so now I need to know that I need to go heal if I'm low health. And it would kind of add a bit of an intimidation factor to people who see people in full armor and full health and be like, okay, well, I need to go stock up. And it would add a bit more strategy to the Doom game, which I feel would be a bit nicer.
Timer activated.
I do, let's say before, I like the LT abilities. I just really dislike how they're just shadowed by the actual Super Shotgun's just ability to destroy people. Another thing I dislike is the lack of traditional Doom weapons in the beta. Hopefully there's a lot more in the game. I want the classic Doom Shotgun. I was talking with another Doom fan earlier. We were talking about how we really like the classic Doom Shotgun to come back. You wouldn't know if most players that are here nowadays don't know what I'm talking about. The classic Doom Shotgun is a pump action shotgun. I think it had as many rounds as the clip would hold, just like all the other guns. But it was a pump action. It didn't deal as much damage as a Super Shotgun, but it was sure as hell just as effective, just because it dealt a good amount of damage for what it was worth. Other than that, I really can't name any of the other negatives about this game. I really just dislike the sense of momentum and the Super Shotgun, really. Because as you see, it's really hard for me to kill people without it, just because they're going to destroy me in almost every situation. But overall, I do enjoy the Doom beta. It's not going to be a game that I'm going to pick up at launch or right away, just because I want to see if these issues are fixed first. I will be looking out for it, though. I will be watching the game, see what they do with it, because let's say before, I do enjoy this. I do enjoy Doom. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Probably always will be. So, without further ado, that's all for today's video, and goodbye.
Power Seeker activated.